Hello and welcome back to Wuhan and the climax of the Wuhan Open Snooker. Judd Trump and Ali Carter have negotiated the field this week and they will contest the title match today over the best of 19 frames. It's the first to 10 to be crowned champion and pick up that cool cheque for £140,000. This is the head-to-head, a very tight rivalry between this pair. Carter just edging it, 5 victories to 4. And the most recent meeting came earlier this year, last season, which Carter won in the Players' Championship in a decider. Trump's most recent win over Carter, the Turkish Masters last year, which of course he went on to win. Packed house once again here in Wuhan. The crowds have been great all week. Zheng Weili, big moment for him as well, officiating this final.
And his opponent, 24 ranking titles, 2019 World Championship winner, 2023 New England Open champion, the ace in the pack, Judd.
A big introduction for Judd Trump, and well merited. What a roll of form he's on at the moment, having won the English Open in Brentwood in Essex last week. And we wondered how he'd rock up here in Wuhan with the jet lag and everything that goes with the travelling over to China with such a short turnaround. Well, here he is in the final. He has answered those questions emphatically. It's been in great form. That is the trophy that they're playing for, along with that £140,000 first prize. It's Judd Trump against Ali Carter for the Wuhan Open Snooker title, the 5th ranking event of this new season. 10 frames is the magic number to be crowned champion. 9 in this session. And Judd Trump will get us underway. Slight delay, not quite sure why, but I'm sure we'll be underway very shortly.
Thank you. First frame, Judd Trump to break.
We're ready to go. Terrific crowd, great atmosphere, and a great day snooker ahead of us, Fergal O'Brien.
Thank you, Philip. Yeah, really looking forward to it. 2 proven winners, more or less playing at the peak of their game.
Well, for Ali Carter, it's been a pretty dramatic return to form, having fallen out of the top 16 for a while. Well and truly back in it now, after winning his first ranking title in 7 years at the German Masters season, beat Tom Ford in the final at the Templedrum in Berlin. Made the Players' Championship final, where he lost to Murphy. Semi-finalist in Leicester at the WST Classic, so he amassed a very sizable number of points, which have got him back in the game's elite again. Well, that's a lovely opening red from Trump, and that's, I think, an area of his game that maybe went missing a bit last season when he didn't win a ranking title, but is back this season at his best, so deadly from long range. And back in the winner's enclosure after his triumph last week for his 2nd English Open title. It had been 19 months since he won a ranking event. Of course, he won the Masters last season, but
8.
He just seems to have that old confidence back again.
Yeah, you think Ali slightly has the tactical advantage. It'll just be interesting today to see, is his safety good enough to nullify the threat of Judd's long potting? Both players played very well yesterday in their semi-finals, scored a lot heavier than maybe they had been in previous matches. I definitely think the new cloth going on after the quarterfinals contributed to that. Table definitely looks to be more responsive.
Judd Trump spoiled the birthday party for 20-year-old Wu Yize. His all-round game was outstanding, couple of centuries. Once again, the long potting was very reliable, and he punished his opponent's mistakes. Wu, of course, was playing in his first ever ranking semi-final, a big occasion for him, and ultimately he was overwhelmed by the excellence of Trump. And it was equally emphatic, really, as Fergal has alluded to, for Ali Carter against Liu Haoshan, the man who, of course, had knocked out Ronnie O'Sullivan in the previous round. Big upset. And won easily, really, 5-1. But Carter came through from 2-all at the interval after a very scrappy fourth frame with 4 big breaks for a 6-2 win. So both players feeling great coming into this final.
$38. 39.
Had a great angle on the black there.
46.
Tried to generate some power. Would have been hoping for something a little bit easier than this. Desperate to try and pot something to continue the break. Of course, yesterday started with a century. He'd love to do that again today.
Zheng, 46.
So the break ends at 46. Plenty there, though, for Carter. Carter at 44 years of age, the older man by 10 years. First term pro in 1996. Judd Trump appearing in his 40th ranking final and going for his 25th title, which would tie him up with Mark Williams, who won the British Open a couple of weeks ago and opted not to play here in Wuhan. Understandably, given that I think he was mentally spent after winning that title and then rocking up at the English Open. But for Trump, I think he's running off pure adrenaline and enjoyment right now. Back in the winner's enclosure. And just wants to keep playing while he's performing as well as he is. That tends to render irrelevant any feelings of fatigue. He can relax a bit after today's final, and he'll hope he'll be doing it with the trophy in his hand. But he's going to have a tough battle to make it happen.
Judd, the last week or so, he's looked very at ease, not just with his game, but also with himself. Of course, it's a lot easier to feel good about yourself when you're getting results. But definitely a lot more confidence in his game. Last year, you got a sense of frustration from him that he just wasn't playing as well as he would have liked. And also was unsure why he wasn't playing as well as he would have liked. So he addressed that during the summer. Put a lot of work in. And again, the first term of the season, even in Germany, he got to the final. So already he's had the 3 finals. And to win back-to-back tournaments, obviously very difficult. Made more difficult if you then have to travel from the UK to China to do it. And if he was to win, again, give him another massive boost for the rest of the season.
He's also looking to make back-to-back successes in ranking events here in China, having won the last time we were here in a ranking event, the World Open, way back in 2019, before the pandemic prevented snooker in Asia. Beat Tepchira Nu for that title. His 5th ranking event success in China.
Yeah, couldn't play that red as a shot to nothing. In trying to pot it, he'd have almost certainly hit one of the 2 reds on the left-hand side. He's played a bit thicker, trying to guarantee his safety. These kind of exchanges are going to be critical during the match. Both attacking players, both heavy scorers when they're in. It just makes the safety play even more important. Certainly more fearful when you're playing Judd. If you have left a long pot, you certainly expect Judd to pot it. There's some long pots that Judd would go for that Ali would refuse, and rather try and play a percentage and play a good safety. Has left choice of shot to nothings. There's the one beside the pink and also even the one just behind, which is a little bit thinner.
For my money, Trump is the best in the business at potting balls like that. The thin clips from the balk area into the corner pockets. He gets such a high percentage of shots like that. Could be a frame winner.
Yeah, quite telling as well the way he played it. Not just that he went for it, but he played at a pace to play position for the green. Whereas normally, a lot of time he'd play a lot harder. He put a lot more emphasis on the pot, which is a sign of his confidence, rather than the safety aspect. Both great players, you probably expect it will be very close. However, you do feel if one player was going to potentially run away with it, I think you think it's more likely for Judd to do it with his game
12.
and also his confidence at the moment. He will have to work hard for those chances.
He made that point himself after his victory over Wu Yizi yesterday, that in playing Carter, he likened him to Barry Hawkins insofar as you've got to earn everything you get on the table. Nothing's going to be given to you. Carter's such a solid all-round performer.
21.
And has been scoring heavily recently and getting back into the top 16. He made the equal high break this week of 145 with Aaron Hill. The acknowledgement that this frame is done, barring snookers, but Judd Trump will be looking to keep Carter in his chair for the rest of this frame. And it's been a very positive start. Got in with the long red. And at his second scoring visit, has finished the job.
$36. 37.
Both players proven winners. Going to be relishing playing today. There's no danger of either player going into their shell or feeling uncomfortable. It will be just a case of
44.
of the long day, who plays the best.
$51.
He's looking very sharp again. He was wowing the crowd yesterday. Penultimate frame of the match, he was potting the final few colours without moving his feet. Left, right-handed, you name it.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Crowd, of course, loved that. And Judd has spoken about the fact that he likes to be loved, likes to entertain, likes having the crowd on his side. And I would say, with the exception of O'Sullivan, of course, probably the most popular player amongst the crowds, certainly to watch.
67.
Really a sense of anticipation when the frame is won. You feel he will play some amazing shots, exhibition shots.
72.
Not quite enough there to add to his season tally of 30 centuries already. But what a start from Judd Trump. A break of 72 after the initial 46. 2 scoring visits, and Judd Trump leads Ali Carter 1-0. Ali Carter breaks off in frame 2 of a possible 19. It's the Wuhan Open snooker final. Judd Trump monopolising the table in the opening frame. Breaks of 46 and 72. Got in with a great long red, and then another good red from distance, clipped into the right corner pocket. He looks sharp, picking up where he left off against Wu Yize yesterday. That tally of 30 centuries already this season is pretty impressive, isn't it? His nearest rival, Mark Williams, not here, of course, has made 21. 931 now for Trump's career. Only John Higgins and, of course, Ronnie O'Sullivan ahead of him in the all-time list. And Trump turned pro 13 years after those class of 92 greats. But as mentioned, Carter's been scoring very heavily of late.
Yeah, over the course of a season, you'd probably be lucky to find 10 players really that'll have more than 30 centuries. So to have already done it in mid-October is phenomenal. Again, if he keeps at that rate, he might have over 100 centuries again, which of course only him and Neil Robertson have done, which is a phenomenal achievement.
Oh, that's a lovely pot. Really good. That's a real confidence booster early in the final to knock one in like that.
Yeah, even though it's very early in the final, there would have been a bit of pressure on that. Would have been fearful if he missed of letting Judd in again.
Carter has made 3 centuries this week, but more significantly than that, he's been taking out frames in one visit on a regular basis, as he did against Liu Haoshan in the semi-finals. Both of these players riding high in the one-year ranking list. Judd Trump has overtaken Mark Williams this week at the top of the tree. Ali Carter is up to 4th place in that regard, having already bagged 63,000 points for getting to the final. If he wins today, he'll be up to 2nd place. And of course, that has big positive implications with the World Grand Prix Players' Championship and the Tour Championship in mind.
15. 19.
Played that well, managed to play it slow enough. More or less in perfect position now on the black to stun up to the pack. Yeah, just let the white get away. Needs to be a little bit lower on the white. Stun up.
27.
Just glance the red as opposed to full ball contact. Can be a little bit frustrated there from where he was. It was more or less an ideal position. He'll know when he gets these chances in amongst them the importance of trying to win the frame in one visit.
Well, he started this break with a terrific long red, and here's another one to keep it going, right in the centre of the pocket.
Another time he might have been tempted just to settle for a good safety shot. But probably feels these chances he's got to maximise. It's a fine line between being positive and aggressive and not being reckless and careless. It's a fine line you might have to walk throughout the day. Doesn't want to be seen to take a backward step against Judd. Again, has a very good record against Judd, beaten him many times.
Yes, they're no stranger to big-time meetings either. Judd Trump beat Carter for the World Grand Prix final back in 2019. That was a 10-6 win for Trump, but of course they also met in the World Championship in round 2 back in 2012. That was quite a spiky affair. Carter coming from 3 down with 4 to play to win it. So, well used to facing each other on the big occasion, none bigger than the lucrative final here in China.
This time going into the pack a little bit lower on the white than he would have liked. I was looking to stun, end up screwing off slightly. Just looking to this plant. See what would have to be made. Cutting this red back into the middle. Just really focus just totally on potting it.
47.
You just have to focus on potting it and let the white run its natural course. And you can see that little raise of the hand there. Obviously, feels he's a little bit fortunate. He's on this yellow with an angle to get back down. It's a great game. Ali all round, great match player. Lovely cue action. Again, with Ali, always feel the key for him playing his best is his temperament. Probably been his Achilles heel too many times over the years. He's got frustrated and reacted to things that were generally out of his control.
This is a tester, not straightforward, mid-range red, frame still not won. And it goes though.
Yeah, as soon as he struck the white, he was up and on the move. And again, when he's playing well, Ali, I said the other day, not quite the Sean Murphy stomp, but definitely a bounce going around the table. the last year or so back working with Chris Henry, and that's certainly something they've been working on, is Ali's temperament, trying to be a little bit more calm. And again, when he is calm and focused like this, he's a handful for anyone. Could win any tournament.
He's certainly got happy memories of playing in China. He won the Shanghai Masters back in 2010. And the World Open in Yushan in 2016 when he beat Joe Perry 10-8. And that was his most recent ranking triumph before he lifted the trophy at the Templedrum in Berlin last season. It was a long time coming, but all the sweeter for that. And this has been some break. The initial red to get in, and then another great long red to stay in. And now
63.
Just needs this red to clinch the frame. Precisely the response Carter would have looked for after Trump dominated the first frame. And what a start to this final.
Yeah, it's set up beautifully, this final. Both players top of their game, full of confidence.
71.
Not a kind of match you'd be able to fudge your way over the line. You're going to have to play very well. Maximise any chance you get.
One visit snooker has been the order of the day for these two this week.
8.
And more of the same at the start of the title match.
It's been noticeable as well this week. Hasn't been any mention at all about the conditions. Tables are obviously playing lovely, particularly now they have the new cloth from the semi-finals. Whereas in Shanghai,
88.
usually that time of year can be quite humid, and players were having to talk about having to adapt to the conditions. That hasn't been the case here, and I think we've seen that in the standard of play, and certainly in the break building.
$95.
Terrific stuff. Century number 4 of the week for Carter. 389 for his career.
93.
Closing in on becoming just the 17th player in professional snooker history to make 400 or more centuries. He's missed the yellow, but it doesn't matter. The damage well and truly done. What a break that was. Brilliant opening red to get in. Another one to keep the break going. And Carter responding in style to Trump's opening salvo. It's one frame all. Ali Carter appearing in his 12th ranking snooker final. A superb break of 103 to level the Wuhan Open final at 1-all. Another 7 frames in this opening session. So someone's going to be in front going into the evening session finale. Carter, remember, just edging the head-to-head 5-4. Most recently, the Players' Championship last season, which he won in a decider, 6-5 on his way to the final, where he lost to Sean Murphy. Judd Trump's most recent victory was in the Turkish Masters last year. Trump won 5-3 in the quarters on his way to lifting the title, which of course was his most recent ranking event success before he struck again at the English Open last week. And that was another great long pot. Both players have got their eye in early in this final, which is shaping up to be something special.
Judd Trump 1.
Yeah, that's part of the challenge of the day for, excuse me, for Ali. Had to play a really good safety shot there to not leave Judd a pot. He did leave the pot. Judd got it. Probably a little bit unfortunate he didn't get on a colour. I said, when you're playing a safety shot against somebody of Judd's calibre, just put you under that extra bit of pressure. Trying to be perfect, you nearly end up, you're more likely to leave it short. It's just an uneasy feeling. There's plenty of long shots the majority of players wouldn't even go for. Not only does Judd go for them, he gets a very high percentage of them. Over the years, Judd safety game and tactical knowledge has improved greatly. However, first and foremost, he's an attacking player, wants to get in and score.
And with the way these two are scoring in this tournament and their ability to take out frames in one visit, the tactical side of things is going to be absolutely pivotal to the outcome, you would think. Who can create more chances with the quality of their safety.
I'll be looking to try and leave the white over on the right-hand side of the table. Makes the safety shot getting back down to balk a lot harder. And needs to avoid the colours. Eventually got over that side of the table, but as you can see, Judd has his hand on the table. You couldn't rule out he'd have a go at those two reds he's eyeing up on the right-hand side. Again, if he was tight on the cushion, he wouldn't be going for these. It went very close. Again, it's effortless power for Judd to get the white ball back.
Unfortunately for him, the red he's attempted has come back up the table into a potable position, so Carter has an opportunity.
One.
Carter came into this tournament ranked at 11 in the world. Of course, he's a former world number 2, which he achieved back in 2010. But if he wins today, he'll be in the top 8.
Six. 7.
Yeah, in a lovely position now. Be anxious to get the red that's blocking the black into the other pocket out of the way.
$14. 15.
Ali, apart from when he's playing his best, walking briskly around the table, also plays very positive, very decisive.
$23.
And playing like that can often get into a rhythm, rattle off frames with big breaks himself. Certainly seems to be relishing the challenge of playing the man at the moment.
Sir.
He said yesterday after his win over Liu Haoshan that his life is in a good place right now. His career has been well and truly rejuvenated by the consistency of his results from last season and the positive start he's made to this season as well. He's got the Champion of Champions to look forward to. Mentioned the Players Series events for the best players on the one-year list, top 32, top 16, and this season the top 12 for the Tour Championship. And with the money he's earning, he's going to be pretty much guaranteed to be in all of those tournaments if he wins today, Tour Championship included. So it just takes the pressure off.
Yeah, he didn't play for this red, played for the red that's directly above the black. Ken played it very well. Yeah, there was a time that kind of careless position of play from Ali would have really annoyed him and maybe carried over into his next shot. That certainly hasn't been the case this week. And when he's this calm, this focused,
44.
Exceptional player.
His one major scare was against Stuart Bingham, his fellow Essex-Cewist. He was 4-1 up against Carter, but
45.
the captain was able to reel off 4 frames, and he hasn't looked back since. Beat Liam Highfield, the man who knocked out Neil Robertson 5-1. Last season's player of the season, Mark Allen, 5-2, and then yesterday, Liu Haoshan, 6-2.
52.
Oh, but that red has gone astray. Out of the blue, really. He was going so well. Frame not won, 51 his advantage, but still bags of points there for Trump.
Yeah, before the red even got to the pocket, you could hear the sigh from him. Yeah, but just been talking about his temperament, how good it's been. Certainly a miss like that will test it. Particularly if Judd was to go on and win the frame from this visit. Very hard to forget about those kind of mistakes. And Judd will be aware of that. He'll know the significance. If he could step in here and win this frame, of course, by no means a certainty to do that.
A big let off for Carter.
Yeah, it'll be much easier for Ali to forget that missed red when you don't get punished.
.43, Ali Carter's lead. Still 75 on the table.
Yeah, looking at the red to the left corner. He putted one of these in the last frame and swung it around the angles. But of course, where he'd be leaving the white would leave the red beside the yellow. Yeah, it was so much more difficult playing that shot because you knew the consequences if you missed it. It was a difficult pot. Probably the wrong choice, you would have to say. Percentage shot was to just play even a dump shot. I said make sure that Judd just couldn't come to the table. Again, you can either play the pot if you wanted or just glue Ali in behind the yellow. Those little marginal calls as a snooker player are very difficult, particularly when you're playing an opponent of this caliber. You want to be positive. You want to try and take the game to your opponent, but also there are times you need to be patient. That extra little bit of discipline. Again, we could only be talking about maybe 5 or 6 shots during the best of 19. But that could be the deciding factor. He's desperate there to try and come off the side cushion and work his way down, but looks to be too close to the yellow to do that. Ideally, he'd love to get on the red that's closest to the left corner pocket.
Carter's taking his time because he's acutely aware that even though he's got this 40-plus point lead, if he leaves Trump a chance from this shot, then that could be rendered academic.
Yeah, probably has to go very close to the brown to work his way around the angles.
Foul and a miss.
Yeah, the brown's actually slightly in the way. I think if the brown was on its spot, he'd be able to take the path that the brown is in the way of and come the other side of the green. That's just working out, kind of get to there and then get past the, again there, looking to see when he hits that cushion, getting past the blue. Again, difficult to judge the angle, particularly the more pace you play it with, that will slightly change the angle. Again, just show the importance of Judd when playing that. If he has prevented Ali from hitting the side cushion first.
Zheng Weili is our referee, just making sure the cue ball is exactly where it was before the initial foul.
Yeah, and even going the other way, the brown is in the way as well.
Foul and a miss.
Yeah, pink first.
Judge on 6.
Well, this could be fun. This is going back. Goodness me. A wry smile from Ali Carter. Good luck, Zheng. Nothing goes for Trump, so back they go. Any referee's nightmare.
Yeah, and it's actually important that it goes back exactly where it was, because you could see the way Ali was literally sitting on the table, the cue up in the air. That's how difficult it was. When he first looked at the shot, Ali coming off the side cushion, it looked like he was just going to play a swerve as such, but when he went to play it, as I said, he still tried to play a swerve, but you could see how awkward it was sitting on the table. So again, it's important that white ball goes back exactly there. Could take a while though, to be fair.
Wang Wei is assisting Zheng Weili in trying to get these balls back where they were. All sorts missed or were moved with that foul just now.
Yeah, step by step, ball by ball process, get every ball perfect. But yeah, obviously the white ball is going to be the most important. Ali taking this opportunity to have another look around. Is there any other way you can go about it? Yeah, the white needs to be on the other side of the yellow. Looks to be a little bit harder this time. I thought he'd a fraction more. But anyway, playing a different shot. Thank God.
Pretty efficiently done there by Zheng Weili, though. Minimum of fuss. Take 3.
Yeah, I don't think the angle is there for playing all the way around. To lie on the red, closest to the corner. And then, of course, because he's so close to yellow. Nearly impossible to be with the long extension, bridging over the yellow, trying to come off top cushion, side cushion, and come at the red the other way. Even the hidden hope is difficult. Let's try and generate the power. Okay, he's desperate to try and hit that red in the left corner.
Foul, and that means
Yeah, it's very, very difficult, this. Carter's healthy lead gradually being eroded by the difficulty of escaping this snooker unscathed. That's the key, isn't it? It's not hitting a red. There's plenty of those that he can hit, but it's hitting one and not leaving Trump in with a frame stealing chance.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, where the brown is, that shot he's trying to play, that he'd love to play, it's not there. And the other option isn't too appealing either, to be fair to him. Yeah. Might just settle for a bit of a hit and hope after all, I think.
Yes, this time success in hitting the red, but this was always the problem for Carter, not leaving Trump a chance, which he has done. And there's nothing safe, so this is a very good opportunity for Judd Trump.
wow.
Wasn't that escape? It was very difficult to get out of it that caused the problem. It was the previous shot when Ali decided to go for that red, a risky red. And I said if he missed it, he was always going to walk himself into trouble with the red and yellow being so close together.
6. Seven.
Yes, Trump is behind, but he's now favourite to win this frame.
Possible Ali decided to go for that risky red, again as a byproduct of being earlier on in the frame when he was on 52, missed a red from point blank range. Sometimes what had happened earlier on in a frame can influence your decision making.
And he was queuing so well at that stage. Brilliant century in the second frame, two great long reds involved in that century. And got in nicely
22.
early in this one. The red came out of the blue, and that was where the problem started for Ali Carter. So Trump into the lead. Golden chance to move back in front.
29.
And losing a frame like this would test any player's temperament. It's still very early on in the final, of course.
30.
But you just don't want to lose any frames that you should have won. You know, there's going to be spells where Judd is going to win frames quickly, maybe in one visit. You have to expect that. He's a top player. He's going to have his spells in the match. But it's those other frames that you should have won
36.
that really hurt.
Seven.
So one good positional shot, black to yellow, and it should be Trump's frame. Just needs yellow and green.
46. $49.
25 the difference, 22 there, so it's just one snooker.
Judd Trump, 49.
There was no heroics on the green that time. Judd just made sure the pot. Of course, only needs one snooker, Ali, and certainly when the black and pink are on their spots. Quite a big target. That target, of course, still there, even potting the brown.
Ali cover 4.
This is actually quite a good opportunity for snooker here to get ideally a white behind the black. Just a little bit short. Just a gentle swerve for Judd.
That doesn't help his cause. Black now glued to the top cushion. Can Trump slot this blue in for 2-1? A dramatic third frame. Ali Carter was in first on a break of 52. Mr. Red to the left corner and then found himself in a fiendish snooker. And when he eventually got out of it, he'd left Trump the chance to steal the frame, which he has. And so the English Open champion from last week leads 2-1. A fascinating start to the Wuhan Open snooker final. Judd Trump out of the blocks quickly with breaks of 46 and 72. Ali Carter responding in style with a terrific century, 103. And he looked to be making it back-to-back frames when he was in on a break of 52 in the third frame. Surprisingly, Mr. Red to the left corner, and then later in the frame found himself snookered behind the yellow. And it was a very difficult one to get out of and leave safe, which he wasn't able to do. Trump stepped in with 49, and Carter couldn't get the snooker he needed to turn the frame back his way. So Trump leads 2-1. The first interval coming up at the end of this frame. 10 is the target to be crowned champion and collect that first prize of £140,000. Total of 9 frames in this first session. Carter leads the head-to-head 5-4. Judd Trump has an early opportunity. Bit of movement in the crowd, bit of noise. So Trump just taking a moment to compose himself. He'd be delighted to have won that third frame. A tough one for Carter to lose. And still movement and noise in the arena.
现场的观众请保持安静。One.
Yeah, bad frame for Ali to lose. Then, of course, he just compounded it with such a bad break-off, given Judd such an easy starter.
Five.
Black doesn't go into the right corner. See Judd coming across there just to see where he can leave the white. Could potentially try and play a cannon on the red, get away from the black, but hit him very well. Just to trace the left-hand side off the cushion, just to widen the angle to make that cannon. Judd
Trump will always have a close affinity to China because this is where his professional story started, really. 2011, he won the China Open to announce himself as an exceptional talent, having struggled initially to make the breakthrough as a professional when he turned pro in 05. But he's never looked back, really. Went all the way to the world final after winning that title a couple of weeks later. And now chasing a 25th ranking title to go joint 5th in the all-time list alongside the great Mark Williams.
22.
Is he on the pink, though? Would appear not.
We know Judd can play shots with his left hand, but be a big ass trying to bridge over with his right hand to try and pot that black. That helps if there's a bit of a gap. They didn't totally commit to position of play. It was so difficult.
29.
So potential for this red into the right corner, and again swing the white ball around the angles.
Judd Trump, 29.
He tried to play it as a shot to nothing. Obviously, the only red he could leave was the one he went for, and a bit unfortunate that came round and kiss and leave such an easy start for Ali.
And relief for Carter that the break-off that left Trump the chance to the right centre pocket has not proved expensive. And this is a big frame for him, because it would have hurt to have lost that previous frame. He was well on top of it. He was in good rhythm and then missed the red. Things went wrong from there.
He'll be hoping to be a bit more accurate than he was with that extension. The chair is a fairly big target. But again, just a little sign, a little bit frustrated. And again, he feels this important visit and frame just to get back.
One. Three.
That couldn't have landed much more awkwardly right onto the red.
Just trying to take an extra second or two to compose himself.
Awkward enough to miss.
Three.
Judd playing it off the jaw there, trying to play it as a shot to nothing.
This is another tester. Yeah, that wasn't easy. It's not the kind of shot you want when you're still grappling with the disappointment of the way in which you lost frame 3 and then running out of position just now.
Yeah, definitely feeling a little bit of frustration and shown a little piece that he hasn't during the week, to be fair. Again, very early in the final, but it's an important little passage of play here, you feel, coming up if Judd can win this frame. And again, apart from just on the scoreboard having a 3-1 lead. Well, he probably might need every minute of those 15 just to calm down, regroup as best you can, just forget about it. Obviously, Judd still has a bit of work to do, but I know myself from playing Ali over the years, you're hoping at some point that he will get a little bit frustrated. Like every player, when he is a little bit frustrated and angry,
17.
that mindset and mentality is not conducive to playing your best stuff. This is where having somebody in your corner during the interval wouldn't necessarily have to be a coach. It can just be a friend or just somebody to talk to, somebody to vent your anger with. So when you come back out after the interval, that's all forgotten about.
Well, Carter did talk about the good team that he's got around him, some of which are out there. Oh, that's gone wrong for Trump, though.
Trump, 24.
I was just about to say that the 15-minute interval could be very important just for Carter to regroup, but he's been given a reprieve. Plenty of nerves and tension about, understandably. This is a big day for both players, big prize at the end of it. And now it's Carter with the chance to dish out some punishment when it was looking as though Trump was moving into a 3-1 advantage at the interval. Just 49 behind, still plenty of reds there. One awkward one at the moment on the left side cushion, but at the very least it's a chance to get back into the frame.
Yeah, you wouldn't really call this a scrappy frame as such.
8.
Both players have had chances, but you feel during the day, whoever wins these frames when both players have had chances, whoever wins the majority of those frames will win the match.
Seventeen.
Ali just came down to have a look, see the red beside the pink. Does it go into the middle pocket? Doesn't go into the right corner. And if it doesn't go into the middle, might be tempted to play a little gentle cannon on it. Again, obviously
17.
took his focus away from the blue. Just be a little bit concerned with the position of play. And again, that miss will only just add to his frustration.
A few errors on both sides in this frame, but another great chance for Trump to now kill it off.
1.
Yeah, but if you win the frame, you soon forget those mistakes.
Just this red and a colour, and Trump will have taken a 3-1 lead. He's not been at his best so far. Started very well in the opening frame. Was able to pinch the third after Carter made a half century and missed the red. And both players have looked a little vulnerable in this frame, but it looks as though Trump is going to emerge with a 3-1 lead. But the beauty of a final like this over 2-session, 19 frames, that there's plenty of time for
17.
all sorts of ebbs and flows. Just the early exchanges, Judd Trump will tell you, having come back from the brink of defeat in both the semi-final and the final of the English Open last week. So a long way to go in this one. How about that for a pot? Hugged the rail all the way to the pocket. Oh, this will be some pot.
match on 31. Ali Carter 4 in the frame.
Ali Carter concedes the frame, and Judd Trump has had the better of the early exchanges in this first ever Wuhan Open final. He's taken 3 of the first 4. Carter has made a century, but missed a key red in the third frame when he was looking good for 2-1. And Judd Trump has won an error-strewn 4th, which means that he's 2 clear at the first interval. But there's still 5 more frames to come in this first session, and 10 are required to be crowned champion here at the Wuhan Open. So far, so good for Judd Trump, the English Open champion, leading Ali Carter by 3 frames to 1. The players will be back out on the table very shortly. Judd Trump will obviously be the happier, leading as he is by 3 frames to 1. It was the third frame that was key, really. Ali Carter had levelled up with a century, was going nicely on a half-century break, looking good for 2-1, and then missed pretty easy red to the left corner, and things started to go awry for him after that. Trump made a few mistakes himself, but has managed to win 3 of the first 4, with 5 more to come in this first session and 10 required to lift the trophy. Remember, Trump's going for his 25th ranking title today, and he will join Mark Williams in joint 5th in the all-time list if he can achieve that. Carter going for ranking title number 6, having won the German Masters at the Templedrum in Berlin last season. A real return to form for Carter, back inside the top 16, the chance of getting inside the top 8 again if he wins today, and already racking up the points on the one-year list with the big Players Series events in mind in the new year. So everything looking very rosy for Carter at the moment, but right now he'll have a sense of frustration that he should perhaps at least be level at 2-all. So the next couple of frames all important for him. He's had that 15-minute break to regroup, as Judd Trump prepares to break off in frame 5. Judd Trump getting us back underway then. This is their 10th meeting, remember. Carter leads 5-4. Their second meeting in a final. Trump winning their only previous title match, the World Grand Prix in 2019, 10-6. Carter winning most recently at the Players' Championship last season on his way to the final, 6-5.
Good safety shot there from Ali. Had to hit the reds quite thick to avoid the red over the left-hand side, but got enough pace on it. Came off the cushion, got a little bit of cover behind the green. Anything short there would have left Judd that long red. Again, we've been talking about Ali's temperament, and it's been excellent this week. But again, what has happened in the last 2 frames will certainly test that. The 15-minute interval was important. Gives him every chance to deal with it, accept it, and then come out with a clear mind.
Yes, and there's plenty of room to manoeuvre, because this is the first to 10, not the first to 5 or 6, although he won't be thrilled with that one. Remember, he was 3 down with 4 to play against Stuart Bingham this week and came through with a 4-frame burst. But Trump with the chance to get back in straight after the interval. Oh, but he's missed. That was a surprise.
Yeah, and missing it, very fortunate to get away with that. And little things like that can add to the frustration as well. Not for a second you want to be thinking it's not your day. You can easily start feeling a little bit sorry for yourself, predicting problems.
Very difficult sometimes, isn't it, with this game, to have a glass half full outlook. And if you were taking a more positive view, you'd be saying, well, Trump could have made a big break in the event. It's still 0-0 in this frame, rather than he could have left me in.
Yeah,
both of which are true.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a lot easier to have that clear, logical thinking in the commentary box than when you're out playing. But that's exactly what is required.
Great pot.
Yeah, had to get it as it turned out. I think he thought in potting it, he'd avoid the other reds and was playing it as a shot to nothing. I think if he was convinced he was going to hit other reds, he wouldn't have played it. And just taking his time, might be tempted with the blue. It's a difficult pot. And again, if he misses, he's leaving his opponent in.
This is a big shot. Excellent. There was a lot riding on that, given the way this final has gone so far. Had he missed, he was leaving the world for Trump, but he's got it right in the heart of the pocket. So two outstanding pots from Carter to get himself in his bid to do some damage and close the gap to one frame.
Yeah, they're very good signs actually for Mali there. Assessed the table.
7.
Decided to go for the blue, fully committed to it, and struck it very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play.
Just confessed a foul on himself, touching the red.
Yeah.
Excellent sportsmanship, acknowledged by Trump, but further frustration for Carter, having done quite superbly to engineer that opportunity.
Yeah, because I didn't, and certainly the referee didn't either, see that. And again, instinctively, as soon as he made contact, he was up to notify the referee. Take it for granted in snooker, but it's still not that common in other sports.
1.
Again, there'd be no consolation to him if Judd went on and made a break. Again, after potting that great blue, it was an opportunity he had created. I don't think I'll be expecting any gifts from Judd either. Judd would be delighted, obviously, to be 3-1 up. Hasn't played his very best. Probably just say he's made less mistakes than Ali. Probably been a little bit more clinical. And as the final goes on, particularly if you have a lead, more likely to find his groove.
$13. 14. Touch.
Judd, a prolific winner. We feel as the final goes on.
20.
inside the winning line, he's more likely to sprint over it. He's not going to start missing regularly and come back to Ali. Ali's going to have to play a better caliber of snooker in all departments to come back.
$26.
Well, this certainly has been a test of Carter's patience so far this final. First missing the red in frame 3 when he was looking good to lead 2-1. Then missing the blue in the 4th frame before the interval, which allowed Trump in for a 3-1 lead, and then having knocked in such a good long red and an even more impressive blue, which carried a lot of
34.
pressure, knowing that he was leaving Trump in. If he missed, he got it. Only to then inadvertently touch a red under his body as he was queuing for that pink. Immediately owned up to it. Trump tapping the table in acknowledgement of the great sportsmanship, but now looking to really rub salt into Carter's wound and pull 4-1 clear.
$42. $43. $50. $51.
$50 ahead, puts us back 57. We'll just need one more red in colour. Looks to have landed straight on the black. This result just settled for rolling it in. And if he just rolls this red in, not only would he
58.
pot it be 58 ahead, obviously should be perfect on the black.
Judd Trump, 58.
Break of 58, but not over the winning line.
Yeah, played it with an element of safety, that if he did miss it, he would have cover behind the black, but always makes the pot just a little bit more difficult. You're playing with a little bit more pace. Requires it to be a little bit more accurate.
$57 Trump's lead. Still 67 on the table.
Foul, and I miss. Ali got a 4.
Just trying to just swerve around, make contact on that red closest to the black. Again, misjudged the swerve, the reaction of the white. Have to aim a little bit further away from the yellow. And then the swerve will take effect. We're just looking just to hit the red and not leave a pot on. The 4 reds on the left-hand side, somewhat safe. Doesn't want to be playing off any of them and try and develop them into a better position for Ali. Just checking with the referee that the white ball's back in the correct position. overcompensated there with the swerve. Caught the red on the other side than the one he wanted.
One.
So after all the frustrations of the last 2 or 3 frames, can Ali Carter ultimately have the final say in this 5th one, having owned up to the foul when he was in earlier? There's still enough for him there. There's plenty to do, of course. The Reds are awkward at the moment. But it would be a real shot in the arm if he could win this frame, given the circumstances.
5.
Nice positional shot there to get on this red. It's quite a small margin of error to be perfect on it. And of course, I'm potting this, frees that other red.
6.
Possibility from the pink here and playing it to try and get over to the left-hand side cushion. If you land in an area, you feel with those 2 reds, you'd have some shot on one of the reds into one of the pockets. Played that well, didn't have a lot of angle. Was able to generate a lot of power. Top left-hand running side. Pace he played it at, and probably still the newness of the cloth helped. Wasn't the most accurate of strikes, but gave the red every chance of dropping. Again, he's just looking at stunning over to an area between the 2 reds.
Carter was up quite quickly off that shot. I think he knew it was always going to be just a little wide of the mark, but at least it's run safe. He's back in the frame, 34 the difference, with 43 now remaining.
Clever shot there from Judd. Using the blue as cover on one red, and pink or black on the other. Yeah, wanted to get right behind that red off the side cushion to push the red away.
And now a gilt-edged chance for Trump to extend his lead. Just a red in the colour. Well, Trump's not playing his A game at the moment, but things are conspiring against Ali Carter. trouble started in that third frame when he missed a red into this left corner when he was looking good for 2-1. And obviously early in this frame, inadvertently catching the red when he was playing the pink after getting in with a couple of outstanding pots. And eventually Judd Trump, even though he didn't kill it off at the first attempt, has done so now.
14. $16.
It was from that exact position yesterday. He cleared the colours without moving his feet.
19.
Might try to do it again. Yeah, he is all right.
23. 28. 34.
Another eventful frame, but another frame that has gone Judd Trump's way after Ali Carter was in, but confessed the foul. And ultimately, Trump has been able to take advantage to extend his lead to 4-1. A real test of patience at the moment, this final for Ali Carter. Judd Trump hasn't pulled up any trees after dominating the opening frame, but he's been able to pick up the pieces. 1 or 2 errors from Carter, but also the misfortune early in the previous frame, having got in so impressively to touch a red when he was potting the pink. Immediately owned up to it. But ultimately, that's of no consolation to him. He's lost the frame. He's 4-1 down. There are still 4 more to come in this first session, so still plenty of time to get himself back in contention. But Trump will be delighted with the scoreline right now because he hasn't quite found his A game as yet, and yet he's won 4 of the 5 frames. He's only dropped 6 in the tournament since he arrived here in Wuhan.
One.
Yeah, not the best break off from Ali either. Previous break, he brought a red up.
Five.
4-1 down already. Doesn't want to be giving Judd opportunities, particularly if he hasn't had to work for them. And could very quickly just slip away. Even if he shares the next 4 frames, Ali, he'd be 6-3 down coming into tonight's session. You feel anything worse than that, more or less no chance. Again, ideally he'd like to get it close to 5-4 either way, but he mightn't have that opportunity. And on the other side, there's every chance Judd could have a bigger lead. That's what he'd be looking for.
11.
Again, you just can't afford at this level to be leaving your opponent a red from the break off. Modern game, everybody's looking to improve, working with different people. But again, the first and probably easiest way to improve for all players, if you could guarantee you don't leave your opponent a red from the break off.
19.
Once again, though, Trump not immune to an error himself. Now, can Ali Carter turn this into something tangible?
Yeah, that's a big let off. Had a big opportunity for Ali.
1. Eight. Nine. Fourteen.
Of course, over the years, Ali has shown a lot of heart, character on and off the table. Again, he's not going to be giving in at all here. Type of player that may be beaten, but never going to be bullied. Just be a bit frustrating for him today. He's had chances. Could easily be ahead. Again, when he played the previous red,
22.
would have looked to have been a little bit closer to the black and with a better angle. Looks a bit bemused there as how he's missed the pack altogether. Again, would have to go down as another missed opportunity. Unless he can pull out another great pot. It's hard to keep potting those difficult ones.
Oh, hang on. Maybe a little kiss off the yellow. Well, maybe he's earned that. Just shaved the yellow, and that took the red on its path to the pocket. Now, will that prove to be a significant fluke? Only if Carter can go on to make something substantial here. Get himself back in the final at 4-2. Trump wins this frame, and he's guaranteed to be in front going into the final session, but would have the chance then to build a commanding lead, perhaps an unassailable one.
Yeah, I thought him potting that yellow, he just clipped the red. He went past. And just taking a second or two to weigh up his options. Yeah, excellent pot there. Judged it well. Slight element of safety in it. If he had a miss, the pack would have covered it. And just looking at maybe playing this red down to this left corner. Play, of course, with an element of safety in it.
Ali Carter, 31.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he thinks of it. Heavenward stare. It's just not happening for Carter at the moment. The fluke not proving to be very significant.
Yeah, poor shot there from Ali, really. It kind of fell between two stools there. Instead of just playing as red to try and pot it and get control. got seduced into trying to get onto the brown as well.
8.
Yeah, and he missed the red by so far, came back down the table. And you could see when he got to his chair how annoyed he was.
I think his frustration will be compounded by the fact that Trump isn't really firing himself at the moment in this match. But at the moment,
The Trump, 8.
he's in charge of it. Another mistake. Does the red go?
One.
Cue that very well, especially when you consider he had the little extension piece on the butt of the cue. In the end, you feel if you pot in the black, if you can disturb the 2 reds to the right. If you can play, disturb either of those 2 reds. The red then at the bottom of the 3 would go into the other pocket. Yeah, played it perfectly.
8. Nine.
Well, it's been another quite scrappy frame, but Carter won't care a jot about that as long as he wins it, gets himself back in contention.
$16. 17.
Won the first of his 5 ranking titles back in 2009 when he beat Joe Swale in Newport for the Welsh Open. 2 of his other 4 titles have come here in China. Shanghai and Yushan when he won the World Open in 2016. Last season he won his 2nd German Masters title.
25.
And when you consider the injury, or rather health issues, I should say, that he's had to grapple with down the years, the Crohn's disease, which he still has to manage, a couple of bouts of cancer, he's shown remarkable resilience.
32. 33.
So, Carter gets his second frame in the nick of time, really. When he left Trump in earlier in this one and looked to the heavens,
40.
he was staring at a possible 5-1 deficit, and then you're into damage limitation territory in this first session as it is. Just 2 behind now with 3 still to play.
Yeah, despite those health issues of the years, Ali, he's had a great career.
47.
You feel if he could win one of the Triple Crown events, that just legitimise it even more. It's obviously been very close.
49.
Lost 2 World Finals to Ronnie, and then also a Masters final. Still has plenty of time.
49 to play.
The green doesn't matter. Carter has pulled a frame back, and that'll make him feel a whole lot better. Judd Trump had chances in that one, couldn't take them. He now leads 4-2. Frame 7 just underway, with Ali Carter having, crucially from his point of view, got a frame on the board. It wasn't pretty, but at this stage of the final, it doesn't matter. It's about staying in the hunt. 5-1 down, and the lead begins to become rather precarious. But 4-2 with 3 frames still to come in this first session, and he could yet emerge with a session lead. I think if he was 5-4 down at the end of this one, he'd take it from here for sure, because he's not played his best snooker, neither has Trump. And from Trump's point of view, maybe he feels that he's missed 1 or 2 opportunities himself to be even further in front. Carter made the century in frame 2. Since then, quite a few errors from both players, but Trump at the moment with the advantage.
Ali decided to play safety there. He was just afraid of going for the red to the left corner, because if he missed it, he would have guaranteed to leave the red that was below the black. So again, a good percentage shot there. Percentages were in his favour to play safety. Okay, good return from Judd there. Good length. He's just making sure that when he makes contact with this red and pushes it, that the red doesn't push anything over towards the right corner.
There's been nothing wrong with Carter's long potting today. He's knocked in some cracking pots, and there's another one.
Yeah, there's no guarantee at all with the positional play, but still a good sign. He was confident that he'd pot it.
Ricardo 1.
Certainly hasn't turned down much today, Ali. Again, it's a sign of his confidence. For Ali, needs to be thinking, once he is 4-2 down, Judd hasn't been playing fantastic either. He has been getting chances. I think before the final, he would expect Judd to probably play better than he has.
Trump's highest break of the final remains the 72 he made to clinch the opening frame. Had a chance in the previous one, Mr. Red to the right corner, when he could have inflicted even more pain on Carter. 4-2 feels much more like a reflection of the snooker so far than 5-1 would have done. Shaded area denoting the balls that Carter can't hit.
Good length and line there from Ali there to get the cover behind the green. He is having a look at the red to left corner, but very risky. Shot to play, just come off the side cushion, just nestle into those reds around the black.
It's going to go back, a bit of a stalemate at the moment with the black well and truly surrounded. Reds clogged up on the top cushion. Just a reminder that, of course, our next tournament here on Eurosport is the second leg of the home nations, the Northern Ireland Open. It gets underway a week today at the Waterfront Hall in Belfast. We've got the qualifiers prior to that you can watch on Discovery Plus from Tuesday, the 17th, through to Friday, the 20th. Fergal is involved on Friday.
I think there's some tickets left.
I doubt it very much. They'd have been snapped up. You're playing Stephen Maguire.
Stephen Maguire, yeah.
Who lost on a respotted black this week to Wu Yiza. Final frame.
Myself and Stephen played in the final back actually in 2007 in the Waterfront as well. Here we are here years later, battling out in Sheffield in round one.
He's found one and he's back in.
Six. 7.
That's one of the enjoyable things about watching Ali play, is that he does wear his heart on his sleeve. And that bounce around the table has returned. Sign of his growing confidence. Feeling a little bit more comfortable.
14.
And as you said, I think if it's 5-4 either way, he'd be pleased coming into tonight. Of course, the possibility he can have the lead. Definitely room for improvement for both players in tonight's session.
20. 21.
Yes, they've both proved time and again this week that their form is very much in evidence. One or two of the frames so far in the final after a very good start have been a bit scrappy and error-strewn, but that's all part of the package when the stakes are as high as they are today.
27. 28.
Hasn't been any hesitancy at all in his game, Ali. Even if they've been difficult or tricky shots, been quite decisive, committed to playing it the right way.
It's already a very healthy lead given the position of the remaining reds. And how quickly things can turn around when you think that Trump had the opportunity for 5-1, Mr. Red to the right corner. Carter was able to scramble his way to a 4-2 deficit instead, and now favourite to close the gap to just 1.
42.
Position lost, but 53 in front. Still bags of points there, but a lot of work for Trump to do to get back into this frame, given the position of the balls.
Ali Carter, 48.
It's a good break of 48. The black was out of commission throughout. And as you can see, Judd Trump is snookered on all of those reds. Carter having got in with the plant to the left centre pocket to take control of this 7th frame. And now he's got another chance to build on that lead, possibly clinch the frame at this visit.
One.
Yeah, he gave that pink that extra second or two, gave it its full attention, but then totally committed to it, played it lovely.
And 2 more reds should seal the frame for Carter from here.
Eight.
Looks like the angle just to roll it in, be nicely on the red, on the left-hand side cushion. Again, just needs this red. Doesn't have to play position. Even if he rolls it in and plays safe, I'd say Judd would probably concede given where the reds are.
He'd need 2 snookers just to tie if this goes in. So Ali Carter is very much back in the hunt. At 4-1 down, looking frustrated. This session could really have got away from him, but he hasn't allowed that frustration to impact his snooker. He's kept plugging away and he's being rewarded.
Ali Carter, 15 in the frame.
And Judd Trump concedes. So back-to-back frames for the captain. Threatening takeoff again. Certainly back in contention in this Wuhan Open final. Trump's lead shaved to 4-3.
From 8.
Ali Carter on the comeback trail from 4-1 behind. Now to just 4-3 adrift. He could still emerge from this first session with the lead. 2 more frames to come. 10 is the target for the title tonight. And Judd Trump will now feel that he needs a response. 4-1 was a somewhat fluttering scoreline, I think, for him. Hadn't entirely convinced with his level of play, and now just 1 in front, but it's a terrific red. I'm not sure if he can get to the potting angle of the black, even though he played the cannon.
Might be able to turn it over to Tracer right-hand side. He plays it slowly.
He's overdone it.
Yeah, turned it too much. You can actually see there as he walked away, kind of flicking his wrist. Just flicked it a bit too much. First sign of any emotion from Judd there during the final. Judd deliberately playing safe off this red, because with the black where it is, it's a big pocket. Maybe every chance you'd leave that on. I'm talking earlier about Ali's frustration, temperament, but also test here for Judd. He'll know at 4-1 he was in a very strong position. He'd have been anxious to capitalise on that. Would have been thinking about the possibility of being 6-3 up himself. He still can. But even 5-4 up, he'd probably be slightly disappointed. And certainly if he was to be behind going in tonight, he'd need those few hours to accept that. From when Ali missed that red on 52 at 1-all, the match and speed and dynamics of the match has changed. wouldn't say they've been scrappy frames, but haven't really been as clinical.
And it could be that Trump's feeling a little mentally fatigued now. Remember, it's been quite a fortnight for him, winning the English Open last Sunday night, flying here to Wuhan, having to play 2 matches when he did arrive in one day. Certainly hasn't appeared to be tired with the way he's played, but it can catch up with you. He certainly seemed a little bit flat in this session, despite leading 4-1.
Both players need to be a little bit careful when they're playing safe. They don't catch the reds too thick. And if a red goes over towards or near the side cushion, as I said, with that black there, you would be able to pot it and off it. Couldn't have got any closer there. Felt sure on its way to the pocket it was going to go in. Played it good though, getting the cover, and I think the smile there indicates, I think they both feel it's inevitable that there's going to be a re-rack. Ali's giving him the look.
Yeah, I think they've agreed.
Yeah, thank God.
With the red over the pocket, there was no way for that frame to be progressed, so we'll start again. 2 more frames in this first session. Possible 10 this evening.
It's one thing that's changed in the game over the last 20 or years or so. Both players far more quicker to look for and accept the re-rack.
Yeah, it just makes sense, doesn't it, to try and move the game forward as quickly as possible if it looks like a stalemate, as that certainly did. The Tour of Turkey is continuing live on Eurosport right now. It's stage 8. Istanbul to Sultanahmet. So we'll try again. Ali Carter breaking off, looking to level this match, and what a result that would be, given he was 4-1 down. He'd inadvertently fouled a red when he was playing the pink in that 5th frame. Everything was going wrong for him at that stage. Trump was just picking up the pieces, really, without playing particularly fluently himself, but Carter's battled his way back. Another great long red from Trump this time. And he's looking to re-establish some fluency in his game. He dominated the first frame, including a break of 72. That's his best to date.
Including the re-rack, that's now 4 times in a row. Judd has pot a red off Ali's break.
Sorry.
Hasn't always been very costly, but if that keeps happening, there will be times when that first red will result in losing a frame. Again, very frustrating. You're working so hard to get back into a match, winning a frame. Again, from the first shot, you've given your opponent a chance and they may well go on to win the frame. Yeah, and the break-off, I think too much emphasis is given to the white ball. I think if you get the correct contact on the end red, those two end reds come away, but also come back in towards the pack. If they get close enough to the pack, it doesn't really matter too much where the white ball is. Again, the standard these days, even if you do leave the white tight on the cushion behind the green, if there's a red available, there's every chance your opponent's going to pot it. And as I said, not just pot it, they potentially could win the frame.
I think Judd Trump's just asking Zheng Weili to check that the pink is in the right position. There's no room for it, obviously, on its own spot, so it's got to go in behind the reds in a direct line without touching another ball.
Yeah, it still looks a little bit to the left. Again, even I think if you use the black spot as a judge, yeah, it's definitely to the left of the black spot. Obviously the blue, pink, and black on spots should be in a row.
In the middle, yeah.
Zheng Weili is our referee.
You can hear Ali talking about the references to the black spot. Yeah, that's what Judd is arguing. If the pink doesn't go there, it'll go below the red as opposed to above it, and then that red would be available. So it is important. But you can clearly see, well, it looks like that pink doesn't go. It's too far to the left.
Yeah, in theory, it should be in a straight line with its own spot. If not, then it has to go below the red. Anyway,
11.
on we go. Where's the red? Where's the red? It's just about hung on, but the cue ball isn't great.
16.
And now Trump's got to hide that red.
Back-to-back re-racks. Yeah, I think if he rolls in here, there's every chance that could happen. He's a small enough lead, but I don't think that's enough of a deterrent for a re-racking.
Foul. Good job, 16.
Well, if he has to replace the cue ball this time, it'll be rather more straightforward than it was earlier in the match when he was replacing a number of balls. I think they're going to have another re-rack here. Oh no, he says go again.
From there, of course, it was a miss. He could have put him back. Again, it's just not worth the gamble of trying to block the red. If they hadn't had a re-rack 5 minutes ago, I think they'd already had a re-rack here, but nobody wants back-to-back re-racks on their resume. Even me.
It's not always been the most fluent session, this first of the final, but it's certainly been eventful.
I've just gone down the table to see, is there an area or a spot he can leave the white to block that red? Because even if he can't hit the red directly, if there's room, he'd be able to come off the side cushion, just flick it in. Definitely a bit of a risk or a gamble if he does play it. Because if it's not perfect, guaranteed, that Judd would pot the next red.
Well, a shake of the head from Carter, suggesting that Trump might be able to get through to this red.
Yeah, that's a bad shot. He went down, took the time, he's seen the danger. Still played it. Again, he's fortunate there. More often than not, Judd with a red over the pocket would be on a colour. And I think just surely the fact that there was a re-rack a couple of minutes ago that kind of prevented Ali from playing what was the right shot.
I think both players are feeling a bit frustrated with the way things are unfolding in this final at the moment. There's very little in the way of fluency. Trump might feel as though he should have a bigger lead, even though he's not played anywhere near his A game in this final to date. Carter just looking to ensure that he's very much in contention when the second session gets underway this evening.
Yeah, Judd deliberately played the red harder to leave Ali this safety shot. It's the end of the stalemate anyway.
When there's been so little in the way of fluency, every shot becomes that bit more difficult. More mistakes tend to creep in. Carter initially asking for the spider, which he's now abandoned, just playing off the pack. Exactly the same issue that they had in the first attempt of this frame, the black being so close to the pocket. If you push a red too far over, there's every chance of potting it off the black. Of course, in the last attempt, Judd got so close, it forced the re-rack. He seems to be eyeing this red up as well.
Yeah, the black wasn't close enough to the pocket that if you got anywhere close, it was unmissable. Again, he felt it was worth the risk. Potting it was guaranteed to be on the black. Problem for Ali here, doesn't have much of an angle, and the harder he hits it, the more likely he'll stay down this black end.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the problem. Playing with a top spin. We're just going to arc the cue ball and just keep it down here. Or just roll up to the black. Again, he's just having a little look that when he does roll up to the black, chances are he's going to leave Judd some sort of a shot into the middle. Which is always that concerned look on his face. I'd be tempted just to come across and actually try and lie on the pink. Then if he gets the white beside the pink, he won't leave any sort of a chance for Judd. That's the better choice.
Ali Carter 1.
Maybe that red goes. Looks fairly thin, but again, judging by Ali's reaction when he walked away, and the fact Judd's coming around to have a look.
So the deadlock broken. Things are still awkward. Pink and black at the moment, far from ideal. Trump looking to get something going in the way of a break.
Six. 7.
Even with the pink and black tied up, can still win the frame comfortably just using the blue.
$13.
Again, wasn't able to get high on the blue there, but should be able to come in and out of balk.
$18. $19.
Played that very well. Was the wrong side of the red, but had enough bottom and right hand side to get back into the blue.
$24.
A loud bang there as Trump was on the point of cueing, so wisely just getting back up off the shot and resetting. From 4-1 up with Carter struggling. Anything other than a session win for Trump would be very frustrating for him. And he could yet be 3 clear, which would be a very handy lead. But that looks to have gone wrong positionally. 42 the lead, still 67 on. Nothing doing into the right corner.
Go jump set.
You can see from that picture that he's able to pot this red to the left corner. It looks like if he plays it, it's going to come off and naturally hit the other 2 reds. Not necessarily a bad thing. Probably be on the black.
Suddenly the table looking a good deal more open. What a frame this would be for Carter to steal from 4-1 behind to get level at 4 each. He's still got plenty to do, but the possibility is there for him. This is tricky. It was a good pot on the blue. It's given Carter a chance.
Seven.
Looking ahead, if he can put the black here and the 2 more open reds. Obviously the last red beside the green. But apart from even playing the cannon to try and bring it into play, of course, if he was to land just behind the pair of them, then you're guaranteed a snooker. Playing a cannon, it could go wrong.
$14. $15. 22.
Ideally, you would think the blue would be the best ball if he does decide to cannon the red way.
Twenty-three.
Doesn't really have much of an angle at all. I think he'll just roll it through. Come off the cushion.
$28.
A good hard match play snooker there from Ali.
Yes, and right back in the frame now. Just 14 behind, 35 left. Trump snookered. Trump having got in earlier with 30, but having run out of position. Crowd enjoyed that one.
Judd, not so much. Yeah. Difficult one as well. Ken would like to play it normally at pace to try and separate the two balls, but of course, if he does that and doesn't hit the red, good chance he could leave a free ball. Tried to play it in such a way that he'd prevent leaving a free ball.
Ali Carter 4. Free ball.
Free ball confirmed. Because Carter can't hit the outside edge, the left-hand side of the red. The yellow is a little awkward. What a frame this would be for Carter to win. To give himself the chance of emerging from this session with a lead, which seemed highly unlikely when he trailed 4-1. Particularly the circumstances in which he found himself in that position.
1.
He just had a look there to see exactly where he needs to be. Put the white, the gap between the brown and green for the red. Has to be a little bit careful because you could easily snooker yourself. Can't play that well. Bit of right hand run inside just to widen the angle to get up the table. You feel the frame's going to be decided by the yellow. Can he get in close behind the yellow?
Nine.
Well, Carter had a major result just now in snookering Trump, in getting out of the snooker himself. Is it going to result in a 4-all scoreline with 1 frame still to play in this session? This is the key shot coming up. 3 in front. Can he get position off this yellow? He can. What a turnaround in this match. Carter has been rewarded for just sticking in there, really. It's been quite attritional snooker since he made the century in frame 2. Things started to go wrong when he missed the red in frame 3, which led to 3 straight frames for Trump, without Trump playing with any great fluency. Just 1 half century since the 72 he made in the opening frame from Trump. But Carter is battling his way right back into the match. Just the blue required. A very long frame, which of course started with a re-rack. We might have had 2 back-to-back. What we do have is a very tight Wuhan Open final, which is right back in the balance. Ali Carter has won 3 on the bounce to leave Judd Trump feeling frustrated. 1 more to come to determine who will take the narrowest of leads into this evening's deciding session. So 1 frame to come in this first session. Ali Carter will be much the happier of the 2 to be level at 4-all after Judd Trump led 4-1. Had an opportunity for 5-1. Carter had inadvertently touched a red when he potted a pink in that 5th frame. Immediately confessed the foul. Trump went on to win it, and at that stage it was beginning to feel as though Trump could forge a big lead in this first session. It's not panned out that way, and now he's facing the possibility that he could come out of this session behind. But whatever happens in this frame is going to be set up perfectly for this evening's conclusion. Possible 10 frames to be played tonight. 10 being the target for the Wuhan Open title.
Yeah, fair play to Ali at 4-1. We question his temperament and his character, but he responded brilliantly. And I think even if he ended up 5-4 down, he'd probably feel maybe even the better of the 2. And obviously then if he has the lead, he'd be delighted. That little passage of play from 4-1 to 4-all, if he goes on to win the match tonight, I think that's where he might look back as critical, whereas maybe Judd slightly missed the boat. Kind of pot earlier on in the day, Judd had been putting The last few frames have been quite scrappy and protracted. Just lost a little bit of fluency. Just makes that putt a little bit more difficult. Yeah, the bang of the chair certainly didn't help playing that shot.
Trump made 72 in the opening frame, 58 in the fifth. Carter with that sparkling century in frame 2. And the 52 break in the third, which of course was the catalyst for his problems in the match. Missing a red on 52 when he was looking good for 2-1. Ended up 4-1 behind, but he's clawed his way back admirably.
Foul, analyst. Judd Trump 4. One. Six. Seven.
Looks like the perfect angle there now to pot the balloon. I think just missed the pink. Smash into them. Surprising choice, really, because after puts another red or two, might get a better opportunity. Seemed to be perfect there.
13.
Again, for that very reason. There's no guarantee you're going to get back into that ideal position. Might just have enough of an angle on the brown to power it in just before the middle pocket and get into the pack. And whilst that shot was on, it was nowhere near as easy as the shot he had a couple of moments ago when he was perfect on the blue. It's rare I'd get a chance to criticise Judd's break building prowess, but I think in that instance he missed a trick.
Judd Trump 23.
Yes, it's been bits and bobs really for most of this session. Just the 1/2 century from Trump, other than the opening 72, which won in the first frame. Very little in the way of fluency. Oh, he's had a big stroke of luck there. The cannon on the yellow, leaving Carter bang behind the brown with the red over the pocket.
Of course, not just that he got away with leaving an easy pot. It's difficult now for Ali to do something and not leave a red, and particularly that red on. Oh, it's an excellent shot.
It really was, because he would have been feeling hard done by there. But once again, he kept his counsel. And he's come up with an excellent shot to dig himself out of that hole.
Yeah, of course, it's still possible Judd might pot a red, but I mean, in Ali's position, he couldn't have done any more. Sometimes you just have to accept you're in trouble. And if you leave your opponent to pot and he gets it,
this is
not much
tough.
to do. Ali got his reward then for that extra patience and discipline to find a shot, and executed it very well. I think he can get past the green to play a thin clip on this red to the corner.
And again,
Yeah, a little bit of luck there, Ali.
both players at times riding their luck in this session. Perhaps not as fluent as one might have expected, given the way they've been scoring coming into the final, but thoroughly absorbing nonetheless. This evening's deciding session could be very different, of course. They might both start to fire in the break building stakes again. Right now they're just jostling for position to see who emerges with the slender lead. For Carter, this frame would feel like a bonus, really. From 4-1 down, he would certainly have taken a 5-4 deficit, the way things were going.
Yeah, well played safety there from Judd, which Ali appreciated. Could have went wrong. Got a good contact on the red. Got good length as well. I think he's looking at trying to play it, obviously trying to go for the pop, but his priority is to get low on the cue ball and screw the white back into baulk.
That red could have gone anywhere, unfortunately for Carter. It's landed over the right centre pocket. Another chance for Trump to try and finish this quite challenging session on a high. It's pretty thin, this red, though. And that's the problem, having any control over the cue ball.
Yeah, that little roll of the eyes from Judd, that probably makes it a bit thinner than even it looks.
One.
Again, all he could do there was just pot it, send it up and down the table. You felt sure it'd be on some colour. Both players probably won't be too disappointed that the match is going to stop after this frame. Gives them time to regroup, rest, regroup, and come back out for this evening. Just gotten a little bit ragged.
Yes, that final session due to get underway in just over 2 hours. Trump didn't want the cannon on the brown.
6.
These kind of frames can be quite mentally draining, use up a lot of energy and thought and concentration. I said they'd be glad of a couple of hours rest.
Trump. 6.
The session started very differently, of course. Judd Trump dominated the first frame with 2 good breaks, and Ali Carter responded with a century. But from the moment that Carter missed a red on a break of 50 in the third frame, things have become a lot more challenging. Balls have been awkward at times. No fluency from either player, really. Very little in the way of sizable breaks. It's been a battle. But both are well used to playing in matches like this, where things don't quite go as you'd like them to, and you've got to dig deep. Nicely done. So Ali Carter creates a chance for himself in his bid to win 4 frames in a row, just as he did against Stuart Bingham earlier in the week from the brink of defeat.
Five. Six.
A win like that over Stewart, 4-1 down, can just add to your belief that maybe it is your week. Usually when a player wins a tournament, there's usually at least one match they could and should have been knocked out.
Rather typical of the session. Everything has been akin to walking through treacle. Nothing has come easy since the end of frame 2.
Yeah, from 1-1, anytime you looked, either player was going to start getting into a bit of a flow or rhythm. Something careless or unfortunate has happened.
Carter still trying to absorb what's just happened to him, having got in nicely with that good opening red. Chance to build at the very least a lead in this frame, if not a frame and session clinching one. Now it's back to the drawing board.
Yeah, might be tempted by this red.
He's rattled it in
14.
with a bit of safety in mind, taking the cue ball back up the table, but he's kept the break going.
Yeah, it didn't look to be very accurate. I thought it was actually going to catch enough of the jaw and stay out. Is that just the fact that the cloth is quite new? That would have helped. I think if the cloth was more worn, that wouldn't have went in. And there's probably a slight element of frustration in deciding to play that shot. Was very reluctant to leave the table after having such a good chance.
Yeah. 18.
And similar scenario again. Land a bit awkward. Might be seduced into going for another red. Not just potted, but no guarantee of getting on a colour either. Might feel him playing it that he's going to hit another ball. Yeah, and that's why he didn't go for it in the end. Again, correct choice.
Ali Carter, 18.
Yeah, Carter looking a bit frustrated, but I think the bigger picture here for him is that he's right back in this match when it might have got away from him. As Trump misses the thin edge on the red.
Nice.
And even if he were to lose this frame, 5-4 would be by no means a calamity from 4-1 down. Well, that changes things with Trump missing the thin edge twice because he can see this red full ball. So he's going to be warned that if he misses again, he'll lose the frame. The last time ranking event snooker was played in China, the 2019 World Open, which Judd Trump won against Tepchire and Nu. Tepchire gave up a frame in those circumstances.
Yeah, he's just getting the warning there. Bit of pressure on this.
Confirmation from referee Zheng Weili that Trump has to hit one, so a different shot coming up here from the first two.
Yeah, played the thicker contact, which obviously ruled out the risk of missing it altogether again. And played it well, to be fair. And good response from Ali. He's just a tough, hard match player, Ali. Prepared to go toe-to-toe.
Enemies. Ali Carter 4.
The third time that Trump has tried and failed to catch the paint of the red.
Yeah, it's always much better to give 4 points away rather than catch it too thick and leave your opponent in. Probably play the same shot again, or try to.
Couldn't have got any closer to dropping.
Yeah, but the point is no good. Yeah, point no good. You cut, you have the 26.
Yes.
Yeah.
Foul,
Yeah.
I think they're just querying whether the scoreboard is correct in the arena.
Yeah, I think in the arena, the scoreboard showing that Ali only had 26 points, and the last foul from Judd didn't go on.
Yeah, the on-screen graphic is correct.
Yeah, he's left this red for Ali to pot and swing around the back of the black, and back up the balk end.
So this final frame of the session, following the pattern of the session itself. Tough, uncompromising snooker. To determine who's going to have a narrow advantage going into this evening's final session, which is due to get underway in less than 2 hours' time.
Foul. Miss. Ali Carter 4.
Ali has slight control of the frame here. Still feels it's not too difficult for Judd to be playing safety. Again, this frame and a few others, certainly not what we would have expected from these two players, particularly at the start of the match.
Once again, the ball's awkward. The black surrounded. Red's accumulating near the top end of the table, top cushion.
And even if you're an attacking, positive player, a lot of the times you still can be very much dictated by where the balls are. And Ali has left a red. Judd, you can pot and get back up the table. Try and break the stalemate.
One.
Another 30-minute frame. Scores level. Could not be tighter. 4 each, 34 points each.
Five. Six. Nine. Ten.
Judd having to work very hard for these points. Hasn't really been in ideal position, which has made it a little bit more difficult. And there's the potential of another red into the left corner.
Hard to 15.
Keep potting them. They're tricky all the time. But again, we established a bit of a lead, in control of the frame.
Ali Carter again just clarifying that the scoreboard in the arena is correct.
No, I called it
48.
There should be 18 in it.
48.
Yeah, 18 in it.
You 34.
That's better again for Ali.
Carter's saying he thinks there should be 18 between them rather than 14.
Yeah. You 48. Yeah.
I'm 30, I think.
No, you're 34.
No, I think 34 is correct.
34, yeah.
Yeah, feel that?
Hard to do the maths after a session this grueling.
To be fair to Ali, he was doing himself out of 4 points. And it's an excellent shot there. Play deliberately, double kiss that red, bring the white back up the table. You're never guaranteed exactly where the red's going to go, but well thought out and well executed shot. And as a result of playing these longer, scrappier frames, if and when you do get a chance, it is harder to take them, be more clinical. As I said before, I think both players will be just glad, win or lose, get this frame done, rest up and regroup for tonight.
Yes, and that rest time is getting ever narrower. An hour and 3/4 away now from the resumption.
Yeah, ideally, if you had enough time, you'd like to go back to the hotel. That's not available, then it's never as nice if you're kind of just hanging around the venue. Might be harder to get something to eat there. But again, that will apply for both players.
This time it's Judd Trump who's played a telling safety. Carter in trouble behind the brown. No surprise at all that this has proved to be a battle. Their most recent meeting went the distance. Carter winning 6-5. Needs a bit of luck here.
It's an unbelievable fluke.
Needed a bit of luck, and I think he got some.
Yeah. A hidden hope. I was hoping for a lot if he expected that. Actually, it's amazing really how often when a player decides to play a hidden hope, how often they do seem to get away with it. Again, that was the significance. Not just could have left Judd a pot, but able to play his snooker as well. Massive piece of luck.
Their World Championship meeting back in 2012 also went the distance, and in that match Trump was 3 in front with just 4 to play on that occasion, and Carter had the final word. Still a long way from the winning line in this match, a very long way. 10 being the target for victory. It would be especially frustrating for Trump, though, to emerge from this session behind, given he was 4-1 to the good, and Carter was struggling, feeling frustrated with the way things were going. So Trump will feel the bare minimum is a 5-4 advantage.
Yeah, he's looking to come off the cushion to play the red closest, but playing that very hard to judge. Feels inevitable that he'd push the red on. That's why he's playing off this red. And again, did the same, hit and hope. Just could have been worse. The red and his bridge hand might be causing a slight bit of an issue.
He's been good with pots like that today. A real test of the cue action, but that's always been rock solid for Carter. Technically very correct. And that's got to help when you're under pressure, looking to pot a dead straight one like that from distance. It's been a very tough session of snooker, but it will be a very satisfying one for Carter if he can pinch this frame as well. And he's got every chance now, just 7 points behind, 43 left. Everything is there for him.
Yeah, you can see he's given every shot his full attention. He'd be delighted if he could take a lead here.
7.
And he's shown great character to come back from 4-1 when he wasn't playing at his best. Plus other little things weren't going his way. They're the kind of things in the past he has reacted to. It hasn't been easy, but he has managed to accept them, refocus.
14.
Needs to work the cue ball here.
15.
He's played it well.
Yeah, lovely trace of left-hand side there just to bring it out to the black. Again, he's got a lovely cue action. Not only is it straight, but also real smooth delivery of the cue. Never looks like he's forcing anything.
And it's held up just in time. So
yeah.
A great opportunity now for Carter.
Yeah, played that lovely as well. Bottom left-hand side. So as it hit the cushion, it ran towards the yellow. And again, didn't hit it overly hard. Smooth cueing it and let that bit of side do the work.
24.
Great performance from Ali so far.
11 the lead, so he's going to need green, brown and blue to emerge with the session advantage.
$27.
He's been rewarded for his usual tenacity and a good deal of patience in this session. At 4-1 down,
31.
things could have gone pear-shaped for Carter, but he took a deep breath, stayed in the moment. And he's going to emerge with a 4-frame winning streak and a 5-4 lead. What a result. And for Judd Trump, frustration, who seemed to have a pretty firm grip on this match at 4-1, even though he wasn't playing anywhere near his best, but the session has rather got away from him. Of course, he's still well in contention. But it's Ali Carter who'll enjoy the mid-session break a little more than his opponent. The reigning English Open champion, Judd Trump, from 4-1 in front, finds himself 1 frame adrift when they come back for the final act of the Wuhan Open this evening. It's been fascinating, it's been grueling, it's been tough as nails. We had a century from Carter in the second frame. Since then, it's been a battle. So Ali Carter, 5-4 up at the midway point, but an awful lot of snooker still to come. A possible 10 frames, and I don't think it would be a surprise to anyone if all 10 are required between these two warriors on the green baize. Ali Carter will certainly feel the happier with the scoreline, given that he was 4-1 behind. But Judd Trump, of course, still very much in the hunt. Remember, he was 7-3 behind against Zheng last week in the English Open final and came back to win 6 in a row to claim the title.